My husband and I have shared many years together, and throughout our time together I've always felt a deep sense of stability, love, and mutual respect. We built our lives on a solid foundation of trust and companionship, and I treasured everything about him. However, a few weeks ago I made a mistake so devastating that it could have irreversibly altered the path of our marriage. It wasn't intentional, nor was it born out of malice. It was a careless mistake, a fleeting moment that now looms over everything we shared. It occurred on an otherwise ordinary evening, one where we were both intoxicated. We had been drinking and smoking, letting our guard down as we often did during those relaxed, intimate moments. We laughed freely and the atmosphere was light and playful. In the midst of our casual banter, he asked me a question that seemed harmless at the time. "Do you want something big?" he asked, his tone teasing, clearly trying to flirt and make me smile. It was a kind of playful question we had exchanged many times before, but instead of responding with affection or humor, I said something that I now regret deeply. Without thinking, I blurted out, "Something bigger would be really nice." The instant those words left my lips, I felt their weight, but it was already too late. His expression changed immediately and the mood between us shifted. What was supposed to be a moment of connection and laughter turned into something heavy and painful. I never meant to hurt him. My response wasn't premeditated or intentional, but slipped out in a careless moment. Unfortunately, words once spoken can't be taken back, and these words hit him in the most vulnerable way possible. Though there might have been some fleeting, abstract truth in what I said, perhaps an idle thought about how life or relationships could always be different, I've never felt dissatisfied with him. I love him deeply and I chose him because he is the one I want to spend my life with. I've never regretted that decision. But my thoughtless remark didn't just hurt him. It broke something between us. In that instant, I unintentionally conveyed that he wasn't enough for me, that I had settled for less, and that he was lacking in a way that could never be fixed. Since that night, everything between us has changed. The man who once loved me so openly, who filled our home with laughter and warmth, has withdrawn completely. He's retreated into himself and now he feels like a stranger to me. He spends most of his time in the garage, a place that used to be a sanctuary for hobbies, but now it's become his refuge, a place where he goes to escape from me and the pain I've caused. Our evenings, once filled with conversation, affection, and companionship, are now silent and tense. He avoids being near me, and when we do speak, our conversations are strained and full of grief. The intimacy we once shared, both physical and emotional, has disappeared entirely. He no longer kisses me, holds my hand, or sits close to me. Our sex life, once vibrant and meaningful, has vanished. I've tried to fix things. I've apologized over and over, telling him how sorry I am and how much I love him. I reassured him that my words were a careless mistake, not a reflection of how I truly feel. But my apologies seem to fall on deaf ears. He's told me he no longer trusts my words. They feel hollow and insincere. Worse, he believes my comment confirmed his worst fears. That I've always thought he wasn't good enough, that I've been faking my enjoyment when we're intimate, and that I've secretly wished for something or someone better. None of that is true, but no matter how much I try to explain, I can't seem to convince him otherwise. Every time he looks at me, it's as if he's seeing a stranger. I can see the hurt and doubt in his eyes, as though my words carved a permanent scar in his mind, leaving a shadow that may forever alter how he views me and our relationship. Desperate to fix the damage, I suggested that we see a marriage counselor together. I thought that maybe, with professional guidance, we could navigate through the pain and find a way to rebuild what we had. But he dismissed the idea instantly. He rolled his eyes, shook his head, and walked away without saying a word. Feeling lost and helpless, I made the decision to seek counseling on my own. I poured out my heart to the therapist, sharing the comment I made, his reaction, and how everything had unraveled since then. She listened attentively and offered advice that I wasn't prepared to hear. She told me that many couples don't survive moments like this and warned me to brace myself for the possibility of divorce. However, she also encouraged me to continue showing my love and commitment. Her advice was to stop pressuring him for forgiveness and instead focus on small, meaningful actions that could slowly rebuild trust. I did my best to follow her guidance. I tried to act as normal as possible around him, smiling when he came home, telling him I loved him, and doing little things to show I cared. But no matter what I did, he remained distant, cold, and unresponsive. One morning, overwhelmed with guilt and heartbreak, I broke down completely. I begged him to talk to me, to say anything at all. His response was harsh. He told me to go myself, that he didn't care anymore, and that the only reason he hadn't filed for divorce was because he didn't want to take his house or his money. Hearing those words felt like the ground had been pulled out from under me. I tried again to explain that I never meant to hurt him, that I loved him, and that I valued him for who he was. But he interrupted me, telling me to stop trying and leave him alone. I felt utterly broken, as if I had destroyed everything we had built together and there was no way to fix it. Then, just as I was beginning to lose all hope, something unexpected happened. A few days later, he came into our bedroom with tears streaming down his face. He told me he loved me, that he regretted some of the things he had said, and that he didn't want a divorce. However, he admitted that he was still deeply hurt and needed more time to process everything. He asked for space to work through his feelings, and I agreed. Now, I find myself in a place of uncertainty. I know that the pain I caused him runs deep, and I don't know if we will ever fully recover from this. But I love him, and I'm not ready to give up on our marriage. I'm trying to be patient and understanding, giving him the space he needs while continuing to show him in small ways how much he means to me. This experience has been a painful lesson about the weight of words and the lasting damage they can cause, even when spoken without ill intent. I don't know what the future holds for us. The road ahead will undoubtedly be long and difficult, with no guarantees. But I do know that I'm willing to fight for him, for us, and for the life we've built together. No matter how uncertain things feel now, I refuse to give up on the man I love.